Okay, here we go. We're going to build our delay set layer for this page, which is going to be fun because we're going to bring in a plugin from outside, which is kind of cool. As we saw when we were trying to do this in the first place in class, getting the controls to be fine enough on a UCI to get to a specific delay point with the millisecond was just a bit hit and miss for me. And I said I'm trying to find a keypad. I think I said that to everyone in class. I've actually found a keypad. Now, the interesting part is none of the components down here, audio components, control components, none of these have a keypad in them that you can use to do this. I did go over in inventories and found a POTS, P-O-T-S keypad, which is plain old telephone system keypad to do dial-up voice over IP stuff. I unhooked that from that component and attached the control pins to logic circuits to try and get them to put a string into the milliseconds. And that didn't work. I found another keypad in the core called a HID keyboard, which is used for conferencing. I again pulled the keys off that, tried to get the pin outs to sit in logic circuits. I tried a number of combinations and I just couldn't get it to fly. And then I found a keypad. And I found it in a place that we haven't looked at yet in Designer. And it's in here, it's in Tools. And it's called Asset Manager. So we're going to show Asset Manager. And if you have a look at Asset Manager, you'll see it's a bunch of third-party plugins. These are made by other manufacturers of various bits and pieces that you could plug into a QSys or any control system. And there's calendars, there's all sorts of controls in here for all sorts of different third-party bits of gear. So there's Audio-Technica mic control, Dante stuff. There's camera stuff, there's lighting stuff, there's projector stuff, there's multi-track recorders, there's all sorts of crazy stuff, cinema projectors. But if I went down here to the CCI and I found this custom keyboard, and I thought if I can get this custom keyboard, which has this keypad on it, to store a value as I set it until I hit enter and then punch that over to the milliseconds input, that I could get that to work, because I've been trying to get the logic circuit to do that, and this actually does it. On the help file, which helpfully comes with this, it did say that there's a keyboard text in control and then the keyboard text out control pin. And I thought, oh, well, if the keyboard in acts like a buffer, this is going to work. And that's exactly what it did. It said enter will put whatever's contained in the first control to the output pin. So I thought, great. So I installed it, which I can do because I'm signed in. I'm pretty sure you can do it anyway, but I installed this CCI custom utility, which now becomes able for us to be used. So if I go over here to my, I'm just going to go onto the legend page because we're going to do the workup over here. I'm going to look for my schematic elements. Hello, properties, schematic elements. Thank you. Now I'm going to show you where these come up. They don't actually come up in Asset Manager, although some of them will. They come into this user plugins. You can see I've got control concepts, which is the keyboard. I have utilities, and there's the custom keyboard. This is fantastic. So I'm going to pull the custom keyboard out and put it here. And if we have a look at it, we'll see that it's got a bunch of keys that I can grab. So to set this up, I'm just going to grab all of these keys and dump them out. I'm going to grab the decimal point. I'm going to grab the enter. And I'm going to grab the clear key. I'm also going to grab this keyboard text box. And I'm going to reshape it so we can use it. I'm going to make it a lot smaller. Like so. Put the clear up here. I'm going to resize 0 and put the dot there. 0 to be the same size. And then we can put these up there. That's nice. Put the enter down the bottom. Fine. And a text string here. So this looks like it's going to work, but we need to enable a couple of things. And we need to find where the keyboard text out pin is, and that's what we're going to enable, and there it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my system. This is the custom control that's sending the milliseconds to our delay. So I'm going to actually copy this. I'm going to cut it actually out of there, take it over to the legend, and I'm going to put it here. And we are going to put the keyboard text pin to that. So let's emulate for a second and see what happens. So this is still going to the milliseconds input of the delay. I'm going to punch in a bit of key here, 55.5. Hit enter. Look, our system has set on the custom controls to 55.5, which is what we just punched in. Let's have a look up here. It says 55.5 right here on our delay. So this seems to be working really. Whoops. By the way, if that ever happens, you know what to do. Go to your schematic pages. You just push that out again. And legend is what we want. Okay. Now we're back to where we need to be. That was a bit scary. So look, this sort of works. And if I clear that, that's good. There's no keyboard text in there, but it's still at 55. And I can put in a different one. And it'll go to 44.4. That's fine. But I'd really like it to actually go back to 0 every time. So there's a way we can do that. Let's get this. We'll stop emulating for a second. We'll get our custom controls. We're going to take a snapshot of our custom control. So I want to create a new snapshot bank from selection. Good. And there it is. We can rename this if we want to. Reset milliseconds. Right. Let's make this. We're going to have 3 save slots. We are? Yes, we are. And what we're going to do is we're going to put load 1 out here. And the reason we're going to do that is I'm also going to enable the clear here, clear key. So when I hit the clear key, which is currently just clearing that box, I'm also going to get that to load 1. And if we go into our milliseconds, here's what I want to do with that. I'm going to emulate again. We're at 0, so we're going to save 1. Then I'm going to just put in a number. We're going to call this the system default. I'm going to put like 38.7 as the system default. This would be one that we would line up properly with the time alignment and set in our system, and that would be the default. Then I also want to have an option for a user preset, which will be this last one. Good. Now watch what happens if I hit clear. That clears, but that also resets to 0 milliseconds because I'm loading 1, which is the 0 milliseconds. And if I load 2, we go to that predefined. I haven't got anything in the user preset yet because I'm not using it. But you see now that this works. This is perfectly what we needed to do. So I'm going to leave that open. I'm going to stop emulating. And we're going to transfer this over to our delay set page. Copy. Go to our interface. We're going to paste. Okay, so what's happened here? We're on a layer, and although we've locked that, oh, have we locked the image? It's kind of not showing it to me. Oh, delay set, paste. Okay, let's make it a bit bigger so we can see it. Move it around a little. I'm going to push that back there. I don't need that anymore. Good. So there's our keypad. We can make that a bit bigger if we want to. Wonderful. Let's also grab our system delay and copy that just so it's on the page with us and we can see it. It won't hurt. Make it fairly big. We can also chop the situation there. Make these bigger too while we're at it. Let's go 16 with those. Cool. And we want to get those presets. So we want to load these three here. Whoops. I can probably drag and drop those actually. I can. Let's do a vertical stack on those. Make it a bit bigger. Cool. Let's distribute them nicely. So we want to call this 0 milliseconds. We want to call this default. And we want to call this user. Week. Didn't mean to do that. Let's change the everything else. Good. And we also need this save because that's going to let us put in our user preset. Save user preset. That's what we're going to put in there. Cool. I might make these just, whoops. I'm doing that. I'm not sure why that's happening. Why is that? Something not locked. Oh, layer 2 is not locked. That's probably why I'm having these problems. Yes. Okay. Layer 2 needed to be locked. We're working on the delay set. That's good. That's not locked. Okay, so this should all work. Let's just make these into 14 as well so we can see what they're doing. Cool. Great. Let us emulate and see what happens. Maybe a text box on top of here to say, let's do a width 14. I'm going to say a system delay. So we know what we're looking at. Good. Let's emulate and test out our design and see what we're doing here. So system delays at 38. What happens if I clear? It goes to 0. That looks good. Let's put in something, 44.4. We enter, it's now 44.4. Great. Clear, goes back to 0. Default is at 38.7. Let's put in a different one, 77.7, for example. I'm going to save a user preset. Now I have a user preset. let's clear that. So it's back to 0. Let's look what the user is. It's 77.7. This is all working absolutely how we want it to be. So this is our delay set page. We've done it. We have a keypad to put it in. I tend to like to turn these buttons black. Once I'm not emulating anymore. Now I have to select them all again. Fabulous. When it settles, nope. It's good to have some patience sometimes with designer. Let it do its stuff in the background. Although I do find it infuriating. Let's do the fill as a black color, and now our keypad looks like that. I'm kind of happy with that, I think. Let's move this over so it's a bit neater. Okay. We'll tidy these up at a different time and as you see fit. Shift them over closer. Looks a little more like it. All right. Great. So this is our page, and as we see when we're emulating, just lock that now that we're done. So I want to show you about locking. It's just about interacting with the stuff as you're not emulating. It will still do what it's supposed to do even if it's locked. So we go default and it goes to default. We go to 0, it does that. We go to our user preset. Fantastic. We clear, it goes back to 0. We put in 33.3 and our system goes to whatever we want it to be. This is really nice. I love it. And let's have a look at our, it's going to put infill. It's going to go back to that page. Oh, there's a keypad there. I'll have to get rid of that. There we go. This is all beautiful. I love it. Well done. Thank you for attending this particular little lesson. See you soon.